Tensions escalate between two powers in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia and Iran. Hello, I'm Nathan King, sitting in for Anand Naidu, and this is The Heat. Hello again. Recent events in Saudi Arabia are sending shockwaves throughout the Middle East. It is locked in a diplomatic row with Iran after a missile was fired against Riyadh. The Yemen-based Houthi rebels took credit for the attack. Now, Saudi's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has blamed Tehran for supplying the rockets to the Houthis, a charge rejected by Iran. And in the midst of all this, the Crown Prince has launched a major anti-corruption drive targeting the kingdom's business and political elite. With lots to sort out, we turn to CGTN's Yasser Hakim in Cairo. Yasser, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince is leading an anti-corruption drive and many top officials have been arrested, but some critics say the Crown Prince is simply getting rid of possible adversaries to the throne. And then there's all this other stuff going on as well. What's happening?
Well, if you look at the anti-corruption campaign, well, the government's point of view and the statements coming out from the state is that there's around $100 billion of money that has been embezzled, whether with bribes and money laundering, and around over 200 emirs, princes, businessmen and ministers who have been detained. 7 have been acquitted on Thursday, and the rest are still under investigation for these crimes. Now, this is the point of view of the government. But if you look at the names, many of the names who have been detained are actually from what you can call now the old guard, not the new generation that has come with the new Crown Prince, a youngster who's been educated in the US and has a lot of new ideas. For example, the very well-known businessman Walid bin Talal, Emir Walid bin Talal, is also with those ideas, but he's was against the reshuffle that brought the Crown Prince before, and he was war with Prince Naif, his predecessor. So there is a power shake-up, and I think this consolidates the new Crown Prince in power, whether it's for anti-corruption or for other reasons.
Interesting. Hours before those arrests, now they don't seem to be linked, Saudi Arabia reported that they'd intercepted a ballistic missile over Riyadh towards the airport that was launched from Yemen. Do we know who was behind that missile launch?
Now, the Saudis accuse the Iranians for this missile, saying that the Houthis who are behind the missile were actually delivered by the Iranians, because the Houthis don't have the capabilities for owning or developing a ballistic missile. Throughout the last 3 years, the Houthis have been sending missiles or attacking the areas in Saudi Arabia, but with small missiles that would not even reach the border area. But this is a missile that has exceeded 900 kilometers. So Saudi Arabia is blaming Iran for this. Iran has denied, but Saudi Arabia says Iran is behind the missile, and since has actually raised the number of airstrikes on the Houthis, has put a $30 million bounty on the head of Abdul Malik al-Houthi, the Houthi leader, as well as killing leaders of the Houthis in Yemen in the last few days. So this has led to the escalation that we are seeing now on several fronts between the Saudis and Iranians.
Yeah, so not only do we have this political shake-up in the kingdom, we also have this missile, and then another major development, the controversial resignation of the Lebanese Prime Minister, Said Hariri, announced in Riyadh. And Saudi Arabia has also asked its citizens not to travel to Lebanon and those in the country to leave as soon as possible. That is what's going on. This is quite incredible that it's spreading to another country.
Yes, Saudi Arabia is working on several fronts, and in all these fronts, it's accusing Iran. It's saying Iran is behind all this. For example, in Lebanon, Iran is supplying Hezbollah, an armed group in Lebanon, and the Saudis do not want Hezbollah in Lebanon. They want it disarmed. So it's putting pressure on the government, on the people, by not just Saudi Arabia has taken this step. It's the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Kuwait. The four of them are now evacuating their nationals from Lebanon and calling on them not to return to Lebanon. And also Saudi Arabia has accused Hezbollah of being the one that has delivered the Iranian ballistic missiles to Houthis. So you see the link up there. So obviously Hezbollah has denied all this. It has accused Saudi Arabia of detaining the Lebanese prime minister against his will, and it's also accusing Saudi Arabia of active war by this move. So it's a power war between Iran and Saudi Arabia played inside countries like Yemen, Syria, and Lebanon now.
Yasser, Hakim, thanks for breaking down a complicated and fast-moving situation for us there in Cairo. Appreciate it.